Oh, you are waking up. Hello. Stop trashing around, please. I have more experience and I won't like tying people up. You are not breaking free. I said, stop trashing around. You are tied to that bed. I could torture you for hours on end and you couldn't do anything to stop it. So if you don't want that to happen, stop making me angry. Much better. Now, I know that you'll have a lot of questions. Everyone always does, and I could remove your gag to let you ask whatever may be troubling your mind. But you all always ask the same questions. Who are you? Where am I? Are you going to hurt me? Why did you kidnap me? Well, darling, my name won't probably ring any bells. I don't think I can call myself a co-worker, but I work in the same place as you. I am part of the cleaning staff on the building. People act like we are invisible, so I can't even blame you for not recognizing me. As for where you are, well, you are in my guest room. I know it's not very big, but with my salary it's all I can afford. If I had finished my degree, I could have a better place to live, but destiny had something different in store for me. Now, continuing with the third question. It's probably the one you are the most worried about, right? Will I hurt you? Will I make you suffer, bleed, and scream in pain through your gag? Well, maybe. It depends on you, really. If you do what I want you to do, I'll treat you better than anyone has ever treated you before. But if you don't do what I want, I don't have much left to lose, to be honest. Make of that what you want. And I guess that takes us to our last question. Why did I kidnap you? Well, would it make sense to you if I said it was because I love you? Yeah, I thought so. So the long explanation it is. Okay, buckle up. You see, I have something called obsessive love disorder. Some psychologists say that it's a subtype of OCD. Some say that it's not a real thing. But that doesn't matter now. You probably don't want to hear a rant about the DSM-5. The important thing to you is what it entails. You see, due to my disorder, when I fall in love with someone, I don't just fall in love like a regular guy. I get intensely obsessed with that person to a completely unhealthy degree. They turn into my entire world. I can only think about them. I forget to eat because I'm busy thinking about the person I love. I stop sleeping because every second I sleep is a second that my darling isn't on my mind. It is like if you took the good and the bad things of being in love and multiplied both of them by 1,000. But you see, I don't only spend the whole time thinking about the person I love, I also get extremely possessive and jealous of them, even if we aren't dating, or if they don't even know that I exist. I can't stand the idea of them being with anyone else, talking with anyone else, or even thinking about anyone else. I want them to be as obsessed with me as I am with them. And that's when things begin to get dangerous for everyone. I start stalking them, memorizing their tastes and routines. I bug the phone, break into their home, and eventually I end up kidnapping them. And this time, my darling, it was you who I fell in love with. As you probably gathered, you are not the first person that I kidnapped. You are, in fact, the fourth one. But you are going to be the last. I will make you love me. And if this time I still can't make my darling fall in love with me, that would mean that I truly am unlovable, and so I will erase myself from existence. Huh? What's that look in your eyes, my darling? Is that compassion that I see, or is it just wishful thinking on my part? I mean, you are such a kind person, I wouldn't be surprised if you felt sorry for the person who kidnapped you. and who threatens to torture you just a few minutes ago. But I wouldn't be so fast to feel sympathy, my love. The three others that came before you are dead now. I don't plan on killing you, although I didn't plan to kill the others either. It just happened. They forced my hand, my darling. I didn't want to. I just wanted them to love me. That's all I ever wanted. Love. I kidnapped my first darling when I was in the high school. Them and I were friends since elementary school. As kids, we were inseparable. I was convinced that we were going to get married and have a happy life together. But unfortunately, they had a different idea. Once we began high school, they began spending less and less time with me. High school is hard, they will just be studying. I said to myself, like the blind idiot that I was. Then I saw them flirting with another person. But I told myself that they were just being nice. They were a very charismatic person after all. But a few days later, I saw them kissing that same person, and the veil that covered my eyes disappeared. I waited for my traitorous friend after class, knocked them out, and took them to my home. Do you know how stressful it is to have some unwillingly tied down to your bed when you still live with your parents? Unfortunately for my friend, my parents never cared a lot about me, and they didn't enter my room since an incident that I will tell you about another day, so they didn't notice what was going on. As for my friend, I tried to make them love me. I really tried. I sneaked food from the kitchen to feed them every day and told them time and time again how much I loved them and reminisced with them stories of our childhood. Because they were tied to my bed, we had to sleep together, and I always wrapped my arm around them, hoping that they would feel my love through the drugs. I had to drug them because otherwise they would begin thrashing around as soon as I touched them. But I promise you that, despite that, I never forced myself on them. I may be a monster, but I'm not that kind of monster. And one day my parents ran home, so I took their gag off to have a conversation. But that conversation quickly turned into screaming. They began shouting that I was crazy, that they hated me, and then they told me to either kill them or set them free because they would never love me. And I followed their advice. My darling, I did what they told me. I took my pillow and suffocated them to death with it. And once they stopped moving and the rate of what I had done dawned on me, I hugged the corpse as hard as I could and cried for hours on end. Don't look at me like that, darling, because the second one is even more disturbing. This time I was at college. They were a classmate of mine, beautiful as the sun itself. As you can probably imagine, I got obsessed with them and kidnapped them too. This time at least, I no longer live with my parents. I will spare you the boring details, the weeks trying to make them love me in any way I could think of. The tears and the threats, the desperation, the heartache. I could go on for hours, but I don't want to bore you. I know that you want to know how it ended. Well, like my friend, they refused to love me, but they went further. They tried to escape. They tried to escape from the person who loved them the most, from the person who breathed for them, who lived for them, but I caught them in the act. Oh, my darling, I saw a rat like never before. I didn't even know that I was capable of such rage. I threw them to the ground and slapped them with my tears in my eyes. Enraged and extremely hurt, that slap turned into a furious punch to the face, and then another one, and I kept punching and punching until the face stopped being hard and turned soft and squishy. There it is. That look. Honestly, it took you long enough. I was expecting to see that horror on your face way sooner. Maybe we still have a chance. Maybe. But let me tell you about the last one, my darling. In a way, they were the one who hurt me the most. When I kidnapped them, they were scared and confused at first, like the other before and like you. But once I told them what was going on, they acted very differently to the rest of them. Just a few days after I kidnapped them, they were acting like everything was perfectly normal. They smiled at me, talked to me, and said nice things to me. I began to grow hopeful. Maybe third time truly was the charm. And only a few weeks after I kidnapped them, they told me they loved me too. They said they will just couldn't resist someone who loved them as intensely as I did. And for some time, everything was wonderful. I really thought I had found the one. But of course, I was destined to be miserable. And after a couple of wonderful months in which we lived like an actual couple, one day I woke up tied to my bed and with my partner nowhere to be seen. And a couple of hours later, I was in handcuffs. That rat didn't just pretend to love me to then escape when I lowered my guard, but they also went and stabbed me in the back by turning me in. In the trial, I was deemed clinical insane, and I spent the next 2 years of my life locked up in a mental hospital. Thankfully, they didn't know about my two previous guests, but that rat didn't escape from me. Once I finally got out of that horrible place, I tracked him down. It was easier than you would expect. Nowadays, people don't care about their privacy nearly as much as they should. I figured out where they lived, and I discovered that while I was locked up, they had gotten married. I went to their house in the middle of the night and I blocked all the doors. Then I broke one of the windows and firebombed that place. I sat at a prudential distance and watched while that house burned to the ground with that rat and their loving spouse inside. And unlike with the two others, this time I didn't feel any slight of remorse. I didn't cry or wish I was different. I just felt at peace. That was around a year ago. Some part of me hoped that the treason I had gone through had put an end to this obsession running my veins. But you are here, so it is clear that my hopes were in vain. I... I just want someone to love me, my darling. Well, not someone, I want you to love me. I want you and I to be happy together. I want you to smile at me, to hold me at night, and to say that you love me as much as I love you. I want to give you my full, unconditional, and everlasting love. I want to make you feel more loved than you ever have been. Look at you, so beautiful and perfect despite being tied down and gagged. If you just loved me, I would be happy for the rest of my life. We are going to die together, my darling, that's the fact. The only thing left to decide is if we are going to die today or once we are old, after having spent a happy life together. But that's up to you to decide. Now that you know who I am, how I am, and what I've done, who will you be, my darling? Will you be the one who asks for their death, like my childhood friend? The one who makes me see red, like my classmate? Or the one who thinks that they can't get away from me, like that treacherous red? Or maybe you will be the one who loves me, and you'll save us both.